Yo, Nation, how you guys doing? I hope you guys are doing fantastic. I'd like to apologize in advance because, yeah, my voice is a little bit off today, mainly because I had COVID for the past week or so. Sadly, I wanted to make sort of like a series on this game once the sort of like the CBT dropped, but I couldn't. I tried many times, but yeah, I wanted to give you guys my first impressions when it comes to Seven Deadly Sins Origin. And if you guys haven't been a subscriber to the channel from the beginning, basically Seven Deadly Sins is the reason why I started the YouTube channel. Basically, Seven Deadly Sins Grand Cross was mainly the target audience for me when I started the game during COVID. But yeah, we evolving now. Netmarble are releasing their sort of like second adaptation when it comes to the Seven Deadly Sins anime series, and honestly, I loved that sort of like anime until they reached like I believe season 3, where they started sort of like ruining the series. But yeah, we're moving forward. I feel like I can start with this. When it comes to this game, if they are able to work on the small inconveniences, and I'm not saying like the problems, I'm saying inconveniences, I feel like this game maybe can be one of the best anime adaptation releases, honestly. When it comes to of course, like in the gacha genre, this game has so much potential, and if we see the same things that Netmarble did with Seven Deadly Sins Grand Cross in like when it comes to maybe the collabs and stuff like that, we can see endless possibilities. Because the game, when I went into this, I was really skeptical. I was like, oh, it's another game that is similar to what is it called, Solo Leveling Arise, the other Netmarble game. I was really worried because I played that game and I was like, oh, that game is not that great, because essentially the animations are not bad, but they still a bit clunky, and also the amount of sort of like money milking machine in that game, because after all it's Netmarble, is kind of insane. But I feel like if this game done right, it is really, really good. When it comes to sort of like the animations, when it comes to fighting the mobs, when it comes to using different teams and switching, those sort of like side of things, I feel like they got it on the basically on the head of the nail. But of course, like there are some maybe stutters when using skills, and maybe a little bit of crashes here and there. There are like small inconveniences, and I wanted to start it with these in order to talk about the good things in this game. All right, with that out of the way, I feel like we can move in. One more thing I would like to mention is that this game sort of like crashes a lot on my system. I have a 5080, and I feel like even though that I have everything maxed out and stuff like that, the game does crash a couple of times, and when it crashes, I have to sort of like restart it and so on. But I feel like maybe it's an optimization thingy based on my system, and it's just like something specific, because I watched like a couple of other content creators, and they didn't have that much of an issue. But yeah, the characters in this game are based on the anime Seven Deadly Sins. Seven Deadly Sins, and if you guys are a fan of that anime, basically you're gonna love this game, because it does everything right when it comes to sort of like character design. And you can actually see I don't have like images are talking like way more than sort of like words here, and I feel like the animations are really, really on point, and I feel like this is like a really good adaptation. The world is essentially huge. You're going to be seeing a lot of lioness, and then you're going to be sort of like exploring through the fairy forest, and you can see how big the fairy king's forest there. And then there is a lot of sort of other areas that I'm not gonna be able to unlock. As I mentioned earlier, we are approaching the end of the CBT. I love Lyoness, or how do you pronounce Lyoness? The main capital city is very big and very intricate. I feel like there is a lot of things that is happening at once, and maybe my only critique when it comes to that, maybe the NPC are sort of like standing still too much. Maybe if you make them like walk around and do more stuff, maybe it would make the sort of like the area much more vivid. But other than that, it's like I'm probably going to be doing more when it comes to the Fairy King's Forest. I've been playing the game for maybe 4 or 5 hours now, and I'm just like progressing, and there is so much to do. You have puzzles to do. You can actually swim underwater. I'm not gonna be talking about the story because I don't want to like to spoil it for anyone, because I know some people play the game mainly for the story. But the story seems very intricate, and also I love how the story pushes the next characters that you're going to be getting. And yeah, it's a brand new story, so you're not going to be replaying the anime of Seven Deadly Sins. They're going to be building up the aftermath of that anime, which is very, very cool. And also, like, the cinematic in these games are really, really crisp. As I mentioned, like, I have everything in maxed out. Of course, like, the grass textures and stuff, they're not like perfect, but I believe this game was developed or started developing 5 years ago. And one of the things that you'll notice that this game is sort of stole a lot of maybe inspiration from Genshin Impact. And yeah, they sort of like build on that, like the sort of like the climbing, as you guys can see here. There is some climbing, there is even some gliding, as you guys see there. And there is, like I said, like the puzzles earlier where you have to like to lift things and put them in place. I'm really enjoying that. It makes like the world much more sort of like maybe interesting, if I may say that. And maybe that is the glides, and I saw like people using these animals to fly with. And yeah, there is all kind of like sort of mechanism that you can actually use in the game. But of course, like, they have a lot of sort of like characters that you have to like to build up, and also you have to like to build up different teams. They have their own sort of like OC, like original characters that are specific for this game. So we're going to be seeing a lot of new characters, and maybe the story is going to be more built around those characters. But of course, we're going to be seeing a lot of the usual characters that we saw previously, maybe a little bit older, maybe a little bit wiser, and also like maybe their skills is going to be different. So you're not going to be going in with, oh, I already played 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross, so I'm probably familiar with most of the skills of these characters. Oh, I died because of a poison there. But yeah, you're going to be seeing more new skills, new stuff, and I feel like as the game progresses, the sort of like the potential is endless. You can actually switch between characters. You can combine ultimates in this game. There is all kind of stuff that you can actually do. There is the dodge mechanism. There is where you have to like to break the boss's shields, or maybe stun them, maybe petrify them, maybe like lower their defense stats. So there is a lot of like mechanics that you can actually use that unfortunately, since I'm very sort of like short on time and I didn't have time to like to play the game, I feel like I'm not going to be able to sort of like talk or tackle everything in the game. But I'm very optimistic when it comes to the potential of this game, and especially that Netmarble owns solo leveling sort of like IP. Of course, like, this is very, very far in the future, and if they're able to like to do this kind of the same thing that they did with 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross, I feel like this game is going to be top notch, especially if you played sort of like Genshin Impact, if you want to try something that is a bit similar, but instead based on an actual anime, and you love the story of 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross. I don't know if they sort of like why the decision to sort of like adapt 7 Deadly Sins again. Maybe they found sort of like interest, or a lot of people are interested in the IP. but I don't know there honestly. But yeah, the world looks quite interesting, especially with the fact that this game, as I mentioned earlier, been developed 5 years ago, basically 2020, mid COVID, and they kind of went in. They even stopped, sort of like, or stole some of the developers from Seven Deadly Sins Grand Cross in order to make this game, or sort of like focus on this game. But yeah, this is the one of the OCs, by the way. We have a lot of elements. We have some stuff where you can mix elements, mix and match, and also like use different characters in order to sort of like do more damage, as I mentioned. But I'm gonna progress more, and I'll let you guys, like, maybe I'll make another follow-up, because I'm gonna play this game a little bit longer. I have my actual tea, even though that I have a little bit of headache. I want to make sort of like enjoy the game before the actual release. Maybe I'll cover this game as well. Maybe I'll do some content as well, like on it. And yeah, let me know what you guys think if you tried the CBT or you got the opportunity on it. And will you be playing these sort of games? Of course, like as I mentioned, the game is not perfect at the moment, but I feel like if they nail the launch perfectly, and also if they are able to maybe nail the gacha system, that's my biggest worry. The gacha system can be very frustrating for a lot of people, and if not done properly, I feel like it could ruin the experience for a lot of people that are interested in the game. So hopefully they sort of like nail the gacha system, and also maybe give a lot of rewards. These are the banners. They don't mention any drop rates, but yeah, let's show you guys also like the oh, I skipped there. Oh, I got it. I saw it there. Let's show the whole animation so you guys like see the. I really enjoyed like the animation for the summons. Look at that. And then you turn the wheel with the mouse and stuff. There we go. Let's see what we got here. Oh, we got another copy of Tristan. I mean, let's use all of our summons here, I guess. Let's see if we can get Meliodas or something. Based on these, like, the rates are not gonna be more than 0.5, I think. They're probably gonna follow the same, maybe. Oh, I got another Jericho, I believe. Ooh, look at that. Jericho is very OP, by the way. Yeah, they're probably gonna follow the same formula that Genshin Impact, maybe, I believe. The music is really good as well. I feel like they worked on that as well. I just want to get a Meliodas. Ooh, we got another copy of an OC character. I don't have that guy either. I'm just gonna skip and see what we got, honestly, because I don't want the video to. Slater, pretty cool. But yeah, something that, before I end this video, something that I also wanted to talk about is that Meliodas. Let's go. Something that I wanted to talk about is there is a lot of equipment for this game, and based on the equipment that, or the weapons that you put on a certain character, their attacks actually change, which I thought is pretty interesting. It makes the game more fun to play, in a sense where you can choose your play style instead of like sticking to a linear same sort of like way of playing the game all the time. So maybe if you are fighting a certain boss that is a bit difficult and requires more defense, you can slap a shield and sword, or maybe a lance, which like unlocks like other skills or different skills. And yeah, so the potential is there. So I feel like yeah, they really worked on that aspect, and if they perfect it, I feel like we're going to be seeing a lot of like different play styles in the game. But yeah, as I mentioned, I'm gonna be ending the game there because my voice is disappearing. But let me know what you guys think of Seven Deadly Sins Origin. Are you going to be playing this game or not? Or it's not something for you? With that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I'll be catching you guys in the next one. Bye bye.